Amantium Irae by Richard Edwards. Read for LibriVox.org by Phil Schempf. In going to my naked bed, as one that would have slept, I heard a wife sing to her child that long before had wept. She sighed sore and sang full sweet to bring the babe to rest, that would not cease but cried still in sucking at her breast. She was full weary of her watch, and grieved with her child. She rocked it and rated it, till that on her it smiled. Then did she say, Now have I found this proverb true to prove. The falling out of faithful friends, renewing is of love. Then took I paper, pen, and ink, this proverb for to write, in register for to remain of such a worthy wight. As she proceeded thus in song unto her little brat, much matter uttered she of weight in place whereas she sat, and proved plain there was no beast, nor creature bearing life, could well be known to live in love, without discord and strife. Then kissed she her little babe, and sware by God above, the falling out of faithful friends, renewing is of love. She said that neither king nor prince nor lord could live aright, until their puissance they did prove their manhood and their might. When manhood shall be matched so that fear can take no place, then weary works make warriors each other to embrace, and left their force that failed them, which did consume the rout, that might before have lived their time, their strength and nature out. Then did she sing as one that thought no man could her reprove. The falling out of faithful friends, renewing is of love. She said she saw no fish nor fowl nor beast within her haunt, that met a stranger in their kind, but could give it a taunt. Since flesh might not endure, but rest must wrath succeed, and force the fight to fall to play in pasture where they feed. So noble nature can well end the work she hath begun, and bridle well that will not cease her tragedy in sum. Thus in song she oft rehearsed, as did her well behove, the falling out of faithful friends, renewing is of love. I marvel much, pardie, quoth she, for to behold the rout, to see man, woman, boy, and beast, to toss the world about. Some kneel, some crouch, some beck, some check, and some can smoothly smile, and some embrace others in arm, and there think many a while. Some stand aloof at cap and knee, some humble and some stout, yet are they never friends indeed until they once fall out. Thus ended she her song and said, before she did remove, the falling out of faithful friends, renewing is of love. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Annabel Lee by Edgar Allan Poe. Read for LibriVox.org by Samira Cohen. It was many and many a year ago, in a kingdom by the sea, that a maiden there lived whom you may know by the name of Annabel Lee. And this maiden, she lived with no other thought than to love and be loved by me. I was a child and she was a child in this kingdom by the sea, but we loved with a love that was more than love, I and my Annabel Lee, with a love that the winged seraphs in heaven coveted her and me. And this was the reason that, long ago, in this kingdom by the sea, a wind blew out of a cloud, chilling my beautiful Annabel Lee, so that her high-born kinsmen came and bore her away from me to shut her up in a sepulchre in this kingdom by the sea. The angels, not half so happy in heaven, went envying her and me. Yes, that was the reason, as all men know in this kingdom by the sea, that the wind came out of the cloud by night, chilling and killing my Annabel Lee. But our love, it was stronger by far than the love of those who were older than we, of many far wiser than we. And neither the angels in heaven above, nor the demons down under the sea, can ever dissever my soul from the soul of the beautiful Annabel Lee. For the moon never beams without bringing me dreams of the beautiful Annabel Lee, and the stars never rise but I feel the bright eyes of the beautiful Annabel Lee. And so, all the night tide, I lie down by the side of my darling, my life and my bride, in her sepulchre there by the sea, in her tomb by the sounding sea. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
As It Will Happen by Emmanuel Geibel, translated by Francis Hellman, read for LibriVox.org by Bruce Kachuk. He loves thee not, he trifles but with thee, they said to her, and then she bowed her head, and pearly tears like roses' dew wept she. Oh, that she ever trusted what they said! For when he came and found his bride in doubt, then from sheer spite he would not show his sorrow. He played and laughed and drank day in, day out, to weep from night until the morrow. 'Tis true, an angel whispered in her heart, he's faithful still, oh lay thy hand in his. And he too felt, midst grief and bitter smart, she loves thee, after all thy love she is. Let but a gentle word pass on each side, the spell that parts you now will then be broken. They came, each looked on each, oh, evil pride! That single word remained unspoken. They parted then, as in a church one oft extinguished sees the altar lamp's red fires. Their light grows dim, then once more flares aloft in radiance bright, and thereupon expires. So died their love, at first lamented o'er, then yearned for ardently, and then forgotten, until the thought that they had loved before of mere delusion seemed begotten. But sometimes when the moon shone out at night, each started from his couch. Ah, was it not bedewed with tears? And tears, too, dimmed their sight, because these two had dreamed, I know not what, and then the dear old times woke in their heart, their foolish doubts, their parting, that had driven their souls so far, so very far, apart. O God, let both now be forgiven. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. At Last the Daylight Fadeth by Emmanuel Geibel, translated by Francis Hellman, read for LibriVox.org by Bruce Kachuk. At last the daylight fadeth, with all its noise and glare, refreshing peace pervadeth the darkness everywhere. On the fields deep silence hovers, the woods now wake alone. What daylight ne'er discovers, their songs to the night make known. And what when the sun is shining, I ne'er can tell to thee. To whisper it now I am pining, O come and hearken to me. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
An Autumn Day by Clara Ann Thompson, read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. I sat in the door of our cottage one golden autumn day, and the breezes stirring the tree tops were as soft as those of May. But looking away to the woodland through hazy autumn air, the red and gold of the forest leaves proclaimed the frost touch there. The grass was still green in the pasture where soft-eyed cattle trod, and down in the deep sheltered valleys were asters and goldenrod. But I knew the merciless Frost King would come with might ere long, and blast all the green things remaining, and still the sweet bird's song. So my heart drank in the warm beauty of that soft autumn day, with a wistful love for everything so soon to pass away. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Autumn Leaves by Clara Ann Thompson. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. Oh, the gorgeous leaves of autumn, waking long forgotten dreams of the days of early childhood when we gaily gathered them, wove them into bright-hued chaplets, placed them on a childish brow, dreaming dreams of fame and fortune that we smile to think of now. Or, with ever fertile fancy, traced we fairy castles fine, flowing brooks and winding rivers in each varied tint and line. Or we gazed in childish wonder while the trees in beauty shone, red and purple, gold and russet, each with beauty all its own. And the branches gently swaying in the soft October breeze gave fresh treasures to our keeping, golden, bright-hued autumn leaves. Now we've left those days behind us, and we face the sober life, all our childish dreams and fancies lost beneath its toil and strife. But whene'er comes bright October, with her wealth of golden trees, then again we're dreaming children, playing in the autumn leaves. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Catfish by John Farrar. Read for LibriVox.org by mleigh. The catfish with whiskers that lives in the brook is an ugly old beast with the wickedest look. I suppose there were mousefish one time in Brooktown, till that ugly old catfish gulped all of them down. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Child's Song of Christmas by Marjorie L.C. Pickthall. Read for LibriVox.org by Ike Sherr. My counterpane is soft as silk, my blanket's white as creamy milk. The hay was soft to him, I know, our little lord of long ago. Above the roofs the pigeons fly in silver wheels across the sky. The stable doves, they cooed to them, Mary and Christ in Bethlehem. Bright shines the sun across the drifts, and bright upon my Christmas gifts. They brought him incense, myrrh, and gold, our little Lord who lived of old. Oh, soft and clear our mother sings of Christmas joys and Christmas things. God's holy angels sang to them, Mary and Christ in Bethlehem. Our hearts they hold all Christmas dear, and earth seems sweet and heaven seems near. Oh, heaven was in his sight, I know, that little child of long ago. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. The Cow by Anne Taylor. Read for LibriVox.org by Ike Sherr. Thank you, pretty cow, that made pleasant milk to soak my bread, every day and every night, warm and fresh and sweet and white. Do not chew the hemlock rank growing on the weedy bank, but the yellow cowslips eat, they will make it very sweet. Where the purple violet grows, where the bubbling water flows, where the grass is fresh and fine, pretty cow, go there and dine. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Cupid Slain by Dora Singerson. Read for LibriVox.org by Roger Smith. Cupid Slain. I come from a burial. Hush, let me be. I have put away my love, fair exceedingly. Ah, the little gold curls soft about his face. Now my heart is sorrowful for his sleeping place. But he would pursue me, never let me rest, till I turned and slew him, knowing it were best. Laid his bow beside him, shoveled in the clay. Tomorrow I'll forget him. Let me weep today. End of recording. This recording is in the public domain.
Driftwood by Clara Ann Thompson. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. They brought in the brine-crusted driftwood and heaped it high on the hearth, for the snow outside was falling fast, and the winter wind was wroth. I watched the bright flames leaping upward as the driftwood flashed and burned, and I mused on the fate of those who sailed in the ship that ne'er returned. My fancy then wrought out two stories, and one was sad and drear, of lashing waves and struggling souls, and piercing cries of fear. The other was bright and hopeful, for the wild waves lost their prey, when a stately ship came gliding by, and bore the crew away. Then, musing on my fancies, I wondered which one bore the truer tale of the good ship, cast as driftwood on the shore. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Frosted Pane by Charles G. D. Roberts. Read for LibriVox.org by Ike Sherr. One night came winter, noiselessly, and leaned against my window pane. In the deep stillness of his heart convened the ghosts of all his slain. Leaves, and ephemera, and stars of earth, and fugitives of grass, white spirits loosed from bonds of mortal birth. He drew them on the glass. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Gratefulnesse by George Herbert. Read for LibriVox.org by Public Domain Scholar. Gratefulnesse. Thou that hast given so much to me, give one thing more, a grateful heart. See how thy beggar works on thee by art. He makes thy gifts occasion more, and says, if he in this be crossed, all thou hast given him heretofore is lost. But thou didst reckon, when at first thy word our hearts and hands did crave, what it would come to at the worst to save. Perpetual knockings at thy door, tears sullying thy transparent rooms. Gift upon gift, much would have more, and comes. This notwithstanding, thou wentest on, and didst allow us all our noise. Nay, thou hast made us sigh and groan thy joys. Not that thou hast not still above much better tunes than groans can make, but that these country airs thy love did take. Wherefore I cry and cry again, and in no quiet canst thou be, till I a thankful heart obtain of thee. Not thankful when it pleaseth me, as if thy blessings had spare days, but such a heart whose pulse may be thy praise. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Heraclitus by William Corey Johnson. Read for LibriVox.org by MoonLylith. They told me, Heraclitus, they told me you were dead. They brought me bitter news to hear and bitter tears to shed. I wept as I remembered how often you and I had tired the sun with talking and sent him down the sky. And now that thou art lying, my dear old carrion guest, a handful of gray ashes long ago at rest, still are thy pleasant voices, thy nightingales awake. For death he taketh all away, but them he cannot take. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
In a Rose Garden by John Bennett. Read for LibriVox.org by Sparrow. 100 years from now, dear heart, we shall not care at all. It will not matter then a whit for honey or for gall. For summer days that we have known will all forgotten be and flown. The garden will be overgrown where now the roses fall. 100 years from now, dear heart, we shall not mind the pain. The throbbing crimson tide of life will not have left a stain. The song we sing together, dear, the dream we dream together here, will mean no more than means a tear amid a summer rain. 100 years from now, dear heart, thy grief will all be o'er. The sea of care will surge in vain upon a careless shore. These glasses we turn down today, here at the parting of the way, we shall be wineless then as they, and shall not mind it more. 100 years from now, dear heart, will neither know nor care what came of all life's bitterness or followed love's despair. Then fill the glasses up again and kiss me through the rose-leaf rain. We'll build one castle more in Spain, and dream one more dream there. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Interlude by Ella Wheeler Wilcox. Read for LibriVox.org by Theo Douglas. Seattle, Washington, November 2025. The days grow shorter, the nights grow longer, the headstones thicken along the way, and life grows sadder, but love grows stronger for those who walk with us day by day. The tear comes quicker, the laugh comes slower, the courage is lesser to do and dare, and the tide of joy in the heart falls lower, and seldom covers the reefs of care. But all true things in the world seem truer, and the better things of earth seem best, and friends are dearer, as friends are fewer, and love is all, as our sun dips west. Then let us clasp hands as we walk together, and let us speak softly in love's sweet tone, for no man knows on the morrow whether we two pass on, or but one alone. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud by William Wordsworth. Read for LibriVox.org by Kylie6Q. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high o'er vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, beside the lake beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze, continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way, that stretched in never-ending line along the margin of a bay. 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not but be gay in such a jocund company. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth to me the show had brought. For oft when on my couch I lie, in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude, and then my heart with pleasure fills and dances with the daffodils. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Landing of the Pilgrim Fathers in New England by Felicia D. Hemans. Read for LibriVox.org by Sparrow. For breaking waves dashed high on a stern and rock-bound coast, and the woods against the stormy sky for giant branches tossed, and for heavy night hung dark the hills and waters o'er, when a band of exiles moored their bark on the wild New England shore. Not as the conqueror comes, they, the true-hearted, came, not with the roll of the stirring drums, and the trumpet that sings of fame. Not as the flying come in silence and in fear, they shook the depths of the desert gloom with their hymns of lofty cheer. Amidst the storm they sang, and the stars heard, and the sea, and the sounding aisles of the dim woods rang to the anthem of the free. The ocean eagle soared from his nest by the white waves' foam, and the rocking pines of the forest roared. This was their welcome home. There were men with hoary hair amidst that pilgrim band. Why had they come to wither there, away from their childhood's land? There was woman's fearless eye, lit by her deep love's truth. There was manhood's brow serenely high, and the fiery heart of youth. What sought they thus afar? Bright jewels of the mine? The wealth of seas, the spoils of war? They sought a faith's pure shrine. I called holy ground the soil where first they trod. They have left unstained what there they found, freedom to worship God. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Liebestod by Alan Seeger. Read for LibriVox.org by Winston Tharp. I, who conceived beneath another star, had been a prince and played with life, instead have been its slave, an outcast, exiled far from the fair things my faith has merited. My ways have been the ways that wanderers tread, and those that make romance of poverty. Soldier, I shared the soldier's board and bed, and joy has been a thing more oft to me whispered by summer wind and summer sea than known incarnate in the hours it lies all warm against our hearts and laughs into our eyes. I know not if in risking my best days I shall leave utterly behind me here this dream that lightened me through lonesome ways and that no disappointment made less dear. Sometimes I think that where the hilltops rear their white entrenchments back of tangled wire, behind the mist death only can make clear, there, like Brunhilde ringed with flaming fire, lies what shall ease my heart's immense desire. There, where beyond the horror and the pain only the brave shall pass, only the strong attain. Truth or delusion, be as it may, yet think it true, dear friends, for thinking so, that thought shall nerve our sinews on the day when to the last assault our bugles blow. Reckless of pain and peril we shall go, heads high and hearts aflame and bayonets bare, and we shall brave eternity as though eyes looked on us in which we would seem fair, one waited in whose presence we would wear, even as a lover who would be well seen, our manhood faultless and our honor clean. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Life's Tragedy by Paul Laurence Dunbar. Read for LibriVox.org by Simmi. It may be misery not to sing at all, and to go silent through the brimming day. It may be misery never to be loved, but deeper griefs than these beset the way. To sing the perfect song, and by a half tone lost the key, there the potent sorrow, there the grief, the pale sad staring of life's tragedy. To have come near the perfect love, not the hot passion of untempered youth, but that which lies aside its vanity, and gives, for thy trusting worship, truth. This indeed is to be accursed, for if we mortals love, or if we sing, we count our joys not by what we have, but by what kept us from that perfect thing. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Love's Philosophy by Percy Bysshe Shelley. Read for LibriVox.org by Samira Cohen. The fountains mingle with the river, and the rivers with the ocean. The winds of heaven mix forever with a sweet emotion. Nothing in the world is single, all things by a law divine in one spirit meet and mingle. Why not I with thine? See the mountains kiss high heaven, and the waves clasp one another. No sister flower would be forgiven if it disdained its brother. And the sunlight clasps the earth, and the moonbeams kiss the sea. What is all this sweet work worth, if thou kiss not me? End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
A Meadow Tragedy by Dora Singerson. Read for LibriVox.org by Roger Smith. A Meadow Tragedy. Here's a meadow full of sunshine, ripe grasses lush and high. There's a reaper on the roadway, and a lark hangs in the sky. There's a nest of loving closing, 3 little beaks that cry. The reaper's in the meadow, and a lark hangs in the sky. Here's a mead all full of summer, and tragedy goes by, with a knife amongst the grasses, and a song up in the sky. End of recording. This recording is in the public domain.
Mutability by Percy Bysshe Shelley. Read for LibriVox.org by Simmi. We are as clouds that veil the midnight moon. How restlessly they speed and gleam and quiver, streaking the darkness radiantly. Yet soon, night closes round and they are lost forever. Or like forgotten lyres, whose dissonant strings give various response to each varying blast, to whose frail frame no second motion brings one mood or modulation like the last. We rest. A dream has power to poison sleep. We rise. One wandering thought pollutes the day. We feel, conceive or reason, laugh or weep, embrace fond woe or cast our cares away. It is the same, for be it joy or sorrow, the path of its departure still is free. Man's yesterday may ne'er be like his morrow. Naught may endure but mutability. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
My Garden by John Farrar. Read for LibriVox.org by mleigh. My garden was silly and stubborn. I worked, but the weeds worked too. I dug and scraped and scrambled. They hustled themselves and grew. Now Ted's garden's fine and cleanly. He has lettuce and roses and peas. Oh, most probably plants are like children. They only behave when they please. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Night by Anne Bronte. Read for LibriVox.org by Winston, Tharp. I love the silent hour of night, for blissful dreams may then arise, revealing to my charmed sight what may not bless my waking eyes. And then a voice may meet my ear that death is silenced long ago, and hope and rapture may appear instead of solitude and woe. Cold in the grave for years has lain the form it was my bliss to see, and only dreams can bring again the darling of my heart to me. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Non Nobis by Henry Cust. Read for LibriVox.org by Phil Schempf. Not unto us, O Lord, not unto us the rapture of the day, the peace of night, or love's divine surprise, high heart, high speech, high deeds mid honoring eyes, for at thy word all these are taken away. Not unto us, O Lord, to us thou givest the scorn, the scourge, the scar, the ache of life, the loneliness of death, the insufferable sufficiency of breath, and with thy sword thou piercest very far. Not unto us, O Lord, nay, Lord, but unto her be all things given, my light and life, and earth and sky be blasted. But let not all that wealth of loss be wasted. Let hell afford the pavement of her heaven. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Ode to Winter by Thomas Campbell. Read for LibriVox.org by Phil Schempf. Germany, December 1800. When first the fiery-mantled sun his heavenly race began to run, round the earth and ocean blue, his children four the seasons flew. First in the green apparel dancing, the young spring smiled with angel grace. Rosy summer next advancing, rushed unto her sire's embrace. Her bright-haired sire, who bade her keep forever nearest to his smiles, on Calpa's olive-shaded steep, or India's citron-covered isles. More remote and buxom brown, the queen of vintage bowed before his throne. A rich pomegranate gemmed her crown, a ripe sheaf bound her zone. But howling winter fled afar to hills that prop the polar star, and loves on dear-born car to ride, with barren darkness by his side. Round the shore, where loud Lofoden whirls to death the roaring whale, round the hall where runic Odin howls his war-song to the gale, save where adown the ravaged globe he travels on his native storm, deflowering nature's grassy robe, and trampling on her faded form, till light's returning lord assume the shaft that drives him to his polar field, of power to pierce his raven plume and crystal-covered shield. O sire of storms, whose savage ear the Lapland drum delights to hear, when frenzy with her bloodshot eye implores thy dreadful deity, archangel power of desolation, fast ascending as thou art, say hath mortal invocation spells to touch thy stony heart? Then, sullen winter, hear my prayer, and gently rule the ruined year, nor chill the wanderer's bosom bare, nor freeze the wretch's falling tear. To shuddering once unmantled bed thy horror-breathing agues cease to lend, and gently on the orphan head of innocence descend. But chiefly spare, O King of Clouds, the sailor on his airy shrouds, when wrecks and beacons strew the steep, and spectres walk along the deep. Milder yet thy snowy breezes pour on yonder tented shores, where the Rhine broad billow freezes, or the dark brown Danube roars. O winds of winter, list ye there to many a deep and dying groan, or start ye demons of the midnight air, at shrieks and thunders louder than your own? Alas, even your unhallowed breath may spare the victim fallen low, but man will ask no truce to death, no bounds to human woe. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
On Love by Khalil Gibran. Read for LibriVox.org by Samira Cohen. Then said Almitra, "Speak to us of love." And he raised his head and looked upon the people, and there fell a stillness upon them. And with a great voice he said, "When love beckons to you, follow him, though his ways are hard and steep. And when his wings enfold you, yield to him, though the sword hidden among his pinions may wound you. And when he speaks to you, believe in him, though his voice may shatter your dreams as the north wind lays waste the garden. For even as love crowns you, so shall he crucify you. Even as he is for your growth, so is he for your pruning. Even as he ascends to your height and caresses your tenderest branches that quiver in the sun, so shall he descend to your roots and shake them in their clinging to the earth. Like sheaves of corn he gathers you unto himself. He threshes you to make you naked. He sifts you to free you from your husks. He grinds you to whiteness. He kneads you until you are pliant. And then he assigns you to his sacred fire, that you may become sacred bread for God's sacred feast. All these things shall love do unto you, that you may know the secrets of your heart, and in that knowledge become a fragment of life's heart. But if in your fear you would seek only love's peace and love's pleasure, then it is better for you that you cover your nakedness and pass out of love's threshing floor into the seasonless world, where you shall laugh, but not all of your laughter, and weep, but not all of your tears. Love gives naught but itself, and takes naught but from itself. Love possesses naught, nor would it be possessed, for love is sufficient unto love. When you love, you should not say, "God is in my heart," but rather, "I am in the heart of God." And think not that you can direct the course of love, for love, if it finds you worthy, directs your course. Love has no other desire but to fulfill itself. But if you love and must needs have desires, let these be your desires. To melt and be like a running brook that sings its melody into the night, to know the pain of too much tenderness, to be wounded by your own understanding of love, and to bleed willingly and joyfully. To wake at dawn with a winged heart and give thanks for another day of loving, to rest at the noon hour and meditate love's ecstasy, to return home at eventide with gratitude, and then to sleep with a prayer for the beloved in your heart and a song of praise upon your lips. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Onward by Emmanuel Geibel, translated by Francis Hellman, read for LibriVox.org by Bruce Kachuk. Cease thy dreaming, cease thy quailing, wander on untiringly. Though thy strength may all seem failing, onward must thy watchword be. Durst not tarry, though life's roses round about thy footsteps throng, though the ocean's depth discloses sirens with their witching song. Onward, onward, ever calling on thy muse in life's stern fray, till thy fevered brow feels falling from above a golden ray, till the verdant wreath victorious crown with soothing shade thy brow, till the spirit's flames rise glorious over thee with sacred glow. Onward then through hostile fire, onward through death's agony. Who to heaven would aspire must a valiant warrior be. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Parting by William Corey Johnson. Read for LibriVox.org by MoonLylith. As when a traveler, forced to journey back, takes coin by coin and gravely counts them grudging each payment, fearing lest he lack, before he can regain the friendly shore, so reckoned I your sojourn day by day, so grudged I every week that dropped away, and as a prisoner, doomed and bound, upstarts from shattered dreams of wedlock and repose, at sudden rumblings of the market carts, which bring to town the strawberry and the rose, and wakes to meet sure death, so shuddered I to hear you meditate your gay goodbye. But why not gay? For if there's aught you lose, it is but drawing off a wrinkled glove to turn the keys of treasuries, free to choose throughout the 100-chambered house of love. This pathos draws from you, though true and kind, only bland pity for the left behind. We part, you comfort one bereaved, unmanned. You calmly chide the silence and the grief. You touch me once with light and courteous hand, and with a sense of something like relief, you turn away what may seem to be too hard a trial of your charity. So closes in the life of life. So ends the soaring of the spirit. What remains? To take whate'er the muse's mother lends. One sweet, sad thought in many soft refrains, and half reveal in Cohen gauze of rhyme a cherished image of your joyous prime.
End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Preparation by William Corey Johnson. Read for LibriVox.org by MoonLylith. Too weak am I to pray as some have prayed, that love might hurry straightway out of mind, and leave an ever vacant waste behind. I thank thee rather, that through every grade of less and less affection we decline, as month by month thy strong, importunate fate thrusts back my claims, and draws thee towards the great, and shares amongst 100 what was mine. Proud heroes ask to perish in high noon. I'd have refractions of the fallen day, and heavings when the gale hath flown away, and this slow disenchantment, since too soon, too surely, comes the death of my poor heart, be it inured to pain and mercy ere we part.
End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Sir Christopher J. Jones and His Fierce Fight with the Big, Bounding, Bad Automobilicus by Frederick Moxon. Read for LibriVox.org by TriciaG. At a period when nights were as common as days, a pun that is somewhat rheumatic, they pranced and cavorted on chestnuts and greys, on milk-white Arabians and beautiful bays, equestrian bays, not aquatic. And foremost of all in the deeds of a knight, chivalric, dashing, and fearless, down-putting the wrong and upsetting the right, the paragon champion, the peerless, and smiter of Saracen bones, was Sir Christopher Jenkinson Jones. Now Chris, as his intimates called him for short, if very familiar, Chrissy, considered the sportiest game of all sport was tackling wild monsters of every sort, which kept him most hustlingly busy. For dragons and griffins and hippogriffs grim were thicker than flies in that region. They carried off people, fat, medium, and slim, to forest and mountain and cavern holes dim, in numbers amounting to legion, and roused by their captives' loud groans was Sir Christopher Jenkinson Jones. One evening, when wearied with toils of the chase, an evening of bright hunter's moontime, our hero drew rein in a still woodsy place, where fain would he rest him and slumber a space, having slain 90 monsters since noontime. His chestnut he tied to a horse-chestnut tree, a natural bond of connection, and having his armor-canned body pried free, his limbs he outstretched, and with yawns, 1, 2, 3, set forward in Nodland's direction, and soon, in rich baritone tones, snored Sir Christopher Jenkinson Jones. Not long had his snore been out booming before an answering challenge came sounding. He sprang to his feet, as with oncoming roar a creature with blazing eyes down on him bore, with terrible leaping and bounding. No nightmare that ever climbed up on your bed could mate with this fearsome creation. Of iron and brass was its big, bulgy head, its body was colored a fiery red, its feet pranced in rapid rotation. Prepare now your last mortal moans, bold Sir Christopher Jenkinson Jones. But Christopher moaned not one least little mite. He seized on his lance, tried and trusted, and just as the beast at his head made a bite, he punctured its paws, fore, hind, left, and right, and both of its eye lamps gang-busted. Thus crippled and blind and exploding with rage did the Automobilicus perish. The rest of the tale you have guessed, I'll engage, how the knight was so tired that he dreamed of an age when rubber-tired monsters would flourish. So leave we where deeply he drones, brave Sir Christopher Jenkinson Jones. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Sky is Low by Emily Dickinson. Read for LibriVox.org by Kylie6Q. The sky is low, the clouds are mean, a traveling flake of snow. Across a barn or through a rut debates if it will go. A narrow wind complains all day how someone treated him. Nature, like us, is sometimes caught without her diadem. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Thanksgiving Day by Lydia Maria Child. Recorded for LibriVox.org. Over the river and through the wood, to grandfather's house we go. The horse knows the way to carry the sleigh through the white and drifted snow. Over the river and through the wood, oh, how the wind does blow! It stings the toes and bites the nose as over the ground we go. Over the river and through the wood to have a first-rate play. Hear the bells ring, ting-a-ling-ding, hurrah for Thanksgiving Day! Over the river and through the wood, trot fast, my dapple gray. Spring over the ground like a hunting hound, for this is Thanksgiving Day. Over the river and through the wood, and straight through the barnyard gate. We seem to go extremely slow, it is so hard to wait. Over the river and through the wood, now grandmother's cap I spy. Hurrah for the fun, is the pudding done? Hurrah for the pumpkin pie. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Tracks by John Farrar. Read for LibriVox.org by mleigh. I wonder where the rabbits go who leave their tracks across the snow. For when I follow to their den, the tracks always start out again. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Unforgotten by William Rose Benet. Read for LibriVox.org by Winston Tharp. Wakening in the night, the pain that slumber strikes with her mace of silence dead and dumb loomed over me and formless said, I come, bringing illusions lost beyond all number. Rigid you lie, yet for a little cumber this flaming world where some die proudly, some glitter like granite, or dream millennium. It left me toiled in mountainous clouds of umber. I lay sustaining all the old emotion, numbed as beneath the blows of iron cars. Then slowly, slowly, some supreme devotion crept down and drew me out of ageless wars, like a dear voice heard over darkened ocean when all dim heaven is trembling into stars. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
What is to Come by William Ernest Henley. Read for LibriVox.org by Simmi. What is to come we know not, but we know that what has been was good to show, better to hide, and best of all to bear. We are the masters of the days that were. We have lived, we have loved, we have suffered, even so. Shall we not take the ebb who had the flow? Life was our friend, now if it be our foe, dear, though it spoil and break us, need we care what is to come? Let the great winds their worst and wildest blow, or the gold weather round us mellow slow. We have fulfilled ourselves, and we can dare, and we can conquer, though we may not share, in the rich quiet of the afterglow, what is to come. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Winter by Walter de la Mare. Read for LibriVox.org by Kylie6Q. Clouded with snow, the cold winds blow, and shrill on leafless bough, the robin with its burning breast alone sings now. The rayless sun, day's journey done, sheds its last ebbing light on fields in leagues of beauty, spread unearthly white. Thick draws the dark, and spark by spark the frost fires kindle, and soon over that sea of frozen foam floats the white moon. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Wishes by Dora Singerson. Read for LibriVox.org by Roger Smith. Wishes. I wish we could live as the flowers live, to breathe and to bloom in the summer and sun, to slumber and sway in the heart of the night, and to die when our glory had done. I wish we could love as the bees love, to rest or to roam without sorrow or sigh, with laughter when, after the wooer had won, love flew with a whispered goodbye. I wish we could die as the birds die, to fly and to fall when our beauty was best, no trammels of time on the years of our face, and to leave but an empty nest. End of recording. This recording is in the public domain.